Hey everyone, Evan Jones with you here on the RPAC Rundown Podcast. We've got another great episode lined up for you. We will go through our featured matchups from last week on December 17th, 19th, and 20th. We also had a featured event, some wrestling action on Saturday, December 21st at the Fran Jorgensen Invite and the Cambridge Girls Wrestling Invite. So please read that article for all the information on that. We will go over some of the top things that we covered in the first semester. I tried to narrow it down to 5, but I just couldn't do it. I think there's 7 total. And then also in this episode, we have the Athletes of the Week brought to you by First Central Bank. As always, check us out on social media and rpacrundown.com. Of course, the RPAC Rundown podcast is brought to you by a bunch of great sponsors like Arapahoe Rehab and Fitness, Cambridge Supermarket, Webb's Oilfield Service, Cambridge Rehab and Fitness, Onyx Native, and C+. We'll take a break. You're listening to the RPAC Rundown Podcast. Last week, we had 3 games that we covered for RPAC Rundown featured matchups. We begin with Tuesday, December 17th. We were in Benkelman for Dundee County Stratton versus Juanita Palisade. Then on Thursday, December 19th, we had Hitchcock County as they hosted Medicine Valley. And on Friday, December 20th, Arapahoe went to Southwest. So first, Dundee County Stratton versus Juanita Palisade on December 17th. In the girls' game, despite a roster that was already a little bit smaller to start, and now they've got some injuries, Dundee County Stratton won an excellent game, 41-34 over Juanita Palisade. The Broncos were led by Cameron Fanning with 10 points and 4 rebounds. Mesa Cox, she had 8 points and 7 rebounds. Also, Izzy Steno, she added 4 points and 10 rebounds. For DCS, Abby Spargo had 15 points to lead the way. Kimberly Escobar had 12 points, and Emily Shack had 5. In the boys' game, it was all Dundee County Stratton as they won big, 70-23. For Juanita Palisade, Ashton Wheeler had 8 points. Graydon Sutherland had 4 points, and so did Noah Sandman. Dundee County Stratton was led by Lane Bybee with 15 points and 7 rebounds. Dante Horner had 13 points. This RPAC Rundown featured matchup was brought to you by Lamp Post 613, Double D Hauling and Spreading, Kelly Decker, Prairie Girl Candle Company, Happy's Feed and Fuel Center, Dundee County Hospital and Quality Healthcare, and Susie's Creative Stitches. We'll take a break and then continue on the RPAC Rundown Podcast. On Thursday, December 19th, we were in Trenton for Hitchcock County versus Medicine Valley on the basketball court. In the girls' game, Hitchcock County started and finished strong, winning 63-19. For Medicine Valley, Remy Stout led the scoring with 12 points, and she also had 4 rebounds. Haley Gustafson had 5 points, and Oakley Stout had 2. For Hitchcock County, they had 3 players in double figures. Madison Carlson had 16 points and 9 boards. Reagan Hagan had 14 points, 7 steals, and 6 rebounds. And Asia Homa had 12 points. Riley Hagan added 9 points. In the boys' game, we had a matchup between a pair of teams that looked pretty even on paper, and they are both pretty evenly matched squads, but Hitchcock County created some separation early and did not look back, winning 55-26. For Medicine Valley, Brody Senf led the Raiders with 8 points. Ethan Brown had 6 points. Lucas Einspar had 5. Tice Pate scored 4, and Mason Robley scored 3. Hitchcock County was led by Adam Kisker, who had a monster game with 23 points. Jace Hawkswell had 12. Mason Schilke scored 9, and Jack Baker added 6. A little bit of a surprise in the disparity. Hitchcock County had a number of shots going in. Medicine Valley, they had good things going on offense, just couldn't find the bottom of the net. This RPAC Rundown featured matchup was brought to you by Bentley and Kisker PC, Midwest Auto Sales and Service, Trails West, Hawkswell Motors, and we'll take a short break. And when we come back, we will discuss the final game that we covered last week on Friday night, December 20th, as Southwest played Arapahoe. On Friday night, December 20th, Southwest played host to Arapahoe. In the girls' game, Southwest won by a final score of 68-44. When it comes to the stats, both teams displayed a nice balanced attack. In the box score, Sutton Schaefer led the Warriors with 14 points. Cadence Carpenter added 7. Emma Strand had 6. Clara Hilker and Ruby McCune each had 5, and Sawyer Schaefer had 4. For Southwest, Aspen Billiter had 29 points, tying the school record set by Kaylin Barnett, who set it in the 2022-2023 season. Atlee Nelms had 12 points, Allison Van Pelt scored 8, and Kira Nelms chipped in with 7. In the boys' game, Southwest picked up their second win of the season against the same opponent, beating Arapahoe 58-33. For Arapahoe, Alex Diaz and Eli Schaefer each had 11 points. Schaefer also grabbed 5 rebounds. Connor Shiflett had 8 points. For Southwest, Houston Billiter scored 25 points. Jacob Barber scored 13, and Trenton Williams and Derek Kelly each had 8. This RPAC Rundown featured matchup was brought to you by D&D Service, Arapahoe Rehab and Fitness, Onyx Native, and Lord's Hardware and Furniture. We'll take a short break, then go through some of the top things we covered during the first semester. You're listening to the RPAC Rundown Podcast. Evan Jones with you here once again on the RPAC Rundown Podcast. So, of course, mid-semester break a little bit for us. The time of this recording is Friday, December 27th. The moratorium is over. A number of teams are back in action, but we're taking a little bit of a break during this holiday season. We've had a very full but very fun first semester of coverage here at the RPAC Rundown. This little mid-season break is very welcomed. We had a short break between the fall and winter sports season, but there's always so much to do that it doesn't feel like much of a break. But I tell you what, we're itching to get back to it. But I'm a big fan of college football bowl season. Like right now, I'm watching Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt. What a finish for the Navy and Oklahoma game a little bit ago. That was fantastic. But yeah, love this time of the year. Get to spend time with some family, catch some great football. But it's been a nice break. But we are excited to get back to it next week on January 3rd. We've got Medicine Valley versus Alma on the basketball court, so we're looking forward to that. Kinsey and I sat down, though, and looked at some of the more memorable games, matches, and events that we covered so far in the 2024-2025 season. Again, these are items we covered. No particular order. Tried to nail it down to 5, but I couldn't do it. I think I've got 7 here. So we'll begin with a football matchup. Dundee County Stratton versus Arapahoe. Arapahoe won 26-20. Top 10 matchup, borderline top 5, depending on where you get your ratings. Just an awesome game. Dundee County Stratton led going into the fourth, but the Warriors came back. And who could forget the incredible catch that Grayson Kohler had in the first half? Dundee County Stratton made a number of big plays. Some stats in this one: Will Casey had 241 yards rushing and 2 scores. Kohler had 15 tackles. Dundee County Stratton tried to attack that side of Kohler, and he just made a number of big tackles. Ethan Latta for Dundee County Stratton had 184 yards of total offense and a score. Lane Bybee and Brock Bailey each had 14 tackles on defense for the Tigers. Just a great game. One of the better games I've ever seen in the regular season, for sure. Next, RPAC Cross Country. Wallace girls earned their 5th straight title as a team. Just an incredible run for the Wallace girls. And then for the boys, it was Bertrand Loomis as they repeated as RPAC champions as a team. Cale Garrett for Medicine Valley was the boys champion with a time of 17 minutes, 29.81 seconds. And Ashley Robertson for the girls from Wallace was the champ with a time of 20 minutes, 32.62 seconds. Again, great event, great performances. Now for the RPAC volleyball tournament. The whole week is fun. There isn't always a key moment from the tournament, but a number of memorable things. There were some key moments, though, like lower seed in the West, Hitchcock County. They made a nice run in the tournament. Eventually, they fell to Cambridge in the 3rd and 4th place match, but they played really hard throughout the whole week. Southwest's furious comeback to beat Cambridge in 5 sets in the East Finals. And a competitive match in the championship match between Southwest and Maywood Hayes Center to give the Rough Riders back-to-back RPAC titles, and they were 30-0 after that, so pretty impressive. Next, Dundee County Stratton Volleyball in the D2-5 district final. They were the number 12 seed playing number 5 seed Amherst. Yes, Dundee County Stratton, they lost the match, but the Tigers had lost 111 straight matches before getting a win this season. So it was just impressive for them to get to a district final. I know they wanted to get to state, but the fact that they were in a district final was just impressive. It was a great atmosphere there at Amherst. The crowd traveled very well for Dundee County Stratton. It was really fun to watch that, and that team just got better throughout the whole season. And I think they're going to be really good again next year. So next, state volleyball. Of course, that's early November. Southwest took home 4th place. Cambridge was bounced out in the first round, but the environment, the crowds, everything is just so much fun there in Lincoln. The NSAA does a great job of running it. And we just have a lot of fun whenever we go to state volleyball, catch a lot of good matches, whether it's RPAC teams or just teams across the state. We try to take in a lot of volleyball while we're there. So the next one, RPAC Play, new coverage item for us. We enjoyed it a lot. We did a number of interviews. We took in all the performances. Bertrand won the East and Paxton took the West. Very incredible, very fun day. It was a great learning experience for me specifically. My wife, Mackenzie, she was in the arts. My mother-in-law, Jennifer Capps, she is the play coach at Bertrand. And I never really got involved in it in high school, so it was really cool to check this out and learn more about it. We were hoping to cover a district, but I just had to go and tear my patellar tendon, of course, playing basketball that week. So it was kind of shot after that, after I got a little bit banged up and had some doctor's appointments and things like that. So missed out on doing some more play because I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. So the final one was just this past Saturday, January 21st. The Fran Jorgensen invite and the Cambridge Girls Wrestling invite. I'm continuing to learn more about wrestling. I know some things, but I'm not an expert at all. But we're trying to learn more about it here at the RPAC Rundown. We write a weekly blog and get information that way. But when I say I'm not an expert, like when I'm watching wrestling, I'm not always sure what's happening. So there's been a lot of great people who have helped me along the way explain what's going on. So I'm learning more and more. And we want to continue to find ways to cover it because I do enjoy the atmosphere. I'm learning more all the time. So it's been a lot of fun. During the day, we saw Tucker Brandyberry of Alma get his 100th career win. Then Cambridge's Dirk Sayer got his 100th career pin. And this may seem like a silly thing to mention, but I'm a big fan of an efficiently ran event when things are just in order, things are going well. And between the folks at Cambridge with their admin, Jason Benson, who was running a number of things there at the invite, and Coach Rice, it was incredibly efficient. 23 teams, I think, 4 mats going for the boys, 2 for the girls. It was efficient, a lot of fun. And it was the last event before we took a break for the holidays. And also the hospitality room had brisket. Big fan. Big fan. So that was awesome. But yeah, there was a lot of contenders when we went through the list of things that happened throughout this first semester, but these were the items that stuck out to us. So we'll take a short break. Then when we come back, it's time to announce the RPAC Rundown Athletes of the Week, brought to you by First Central Bank. Welcome back. You know what time it is. It's time to announce the RPAC Rundown Athletes of the Week, brought to you by First Central Bank. Let's plan for tomorrow together. First Central Bank, member FDIC. Our female athlete of the week goes to Amby Custard of Southwest. She had 2 first-place finishes last week. At the McCook invite, she pinned her opponent in the championship match in 17 seconds. Then at the Cambridge Girls invite, she was able to pin her opponent in the championship match in 43 seconds. So she has been dominant all season. Congratulations to Amby Custard of Southwest. Now, on the male side, it is a wrestler too, Tucker Brandyberry of Alma. He picked up his 100th career win at the Fran Jorgensen invite and finished the day placing first also. So he had a great day. Of course, he wrestles at 120 pounds. Congratulations to Tucker Brandyberry on the 100th career win and also taking first at the Fran Jorgensen invite. Once again, our athletes of the week are brought to you by First Central Bank, member FDIC. That's going to do it for this week's episode of the RPAC Rundown Podcast. Of course, We got to have great sponsors to do the podcast. If you'd like to sign up, of course, you can reach out to us. You can email us at rpacrundown@gmail.com. And you can reach out to us on social media also if you'd like to become a sponsor on the RPAC Rundown podcast. But we have great sponsors. We mentioned some earlier. And of course, we have many others like JBK Operating LLC, Scouts Recreation, First Central Bank, Cross Diamond Cattle Company, Tri-Valley Medical Foundation, and Prairie Girl Candle Company. Hey, thanks a bunch for tuning in and have a happy new year.